the grapes are from or how the hops and malts are added, chances are your favourite tipple has arrived in one very clever and very sustainable design package, and that's glass. So we're on a mission to find out how those wine and beer bottles are made, starting with some molten glass and major machinery. Then check out what your favourite beverage bottle might look like in the future. And we meet the characters and pioneers who are turning water into gold. It's going to be thirsty work, people, but someone's got to do it. Until very recently, most things we drank came in glass bottles, and there's still nothing better for delivering wine and beer than glass. Amazingly, here in New Zealand's only glass-making factory at OI in Penrose, the actual process of making glass hasn't changed in ages.
Bottle tops are sorted out from broken glass used to quicken the melting process. The same materials are used in glass making as were used 2,000 years ago. Here they're measured off. Sand from Paringaringa, soda ash from England, lime from Nelson and Waipawa, and broken glass from all over New Zealand.
The glass factory here at OI New Zealand has been making bottles, jars and glorious glass since 1922. They're mighty proud of their heritage and mighty proud to host a special club of people who've worked here for over 25 years. So can you tell me what are some of the biggest changes that you've seen over the last decades in glass?
The machines have gone from, we've now got 6 lines. When I first started here we had 12 and we were producing half of what we're producing now.
It's automated, fully automated now. A lot of it was manual in the older days. But the biggest change has been the job mix. I mean, 20 years ago we didn't make a wine bottle.
Huge growth in the wine industry, yeah.
So that's transformed this business?
Yes, definitely.
I think the great thing is that we were flexible enough as a plant to push the boundaries and try new things and see if they worked.
Yeah.
And if they didn't, to go back and remodify and try again. And that was the great thing. We came up with some really good bottles that are still around today.
I guess in regards to some of the iconic stuff that we've got out there, the Waiwara bottle we did. And the other one that I like in particular is the Tuatara bottle. It's a lovely shaped bottle.
And it kind of replicates the skin of the reptile around the neck.
And we make a 3D printer version, which is that thing there. It's very cool.
So who better to show me through the life cycle of glass than the OI Sustainability Manager, Penny.
Yvonne, welcome to the cullet yard.
The cullet yard.
I know. It's what we call recycled glass. It sounds a little strange, I know, but that's our raw material.
It feels kind of spacey, sort of otherworldly.
Now, 67% of our raw material input is cullet.
And they were possibly made here. So they're coming home.
Well, glass is 100% recyclable, infinitely. Just about 2/3 of every container leaving this site is recycled content.
Wow.
So that's very attractive to a number and many of New Zealand's leading beverage and food brands.
So can you show me the process step by step from this glass here to it ending up in a bottle?
Raw materials are delivered into this yard and into the batch house. They are put together in 5-ton lots. That's the sand. Sand's coming through. Okay. So you can see the flint and the green.
Right.
Together on the conveyor. The other side of the discharger, you'll see all the dry materials. It's then elevated to a silo and gravity fed into each furnace. Once it's in the furnace, it's melted, and that can take sometimes 12 hours to go from the back of the furnace
That's a long time.
to the front of the furnace. Welcome to AK4 Furnace Control Room. It's telling us the various temperatures in the crown of the furnace. 1526 degrees C. The cullet level in there is 75%. When it leaves the furnace, it goes into the throat and then into the refiner to be able to drop through as a gob, which is the measure of glass. And that's
A gob
a gob.
is a measure of glass.
Yes. I'm going to tuck you in under here. If you stand on your tippy toes, Yvonne, you can see where the gobs are being sheared off. They drop down through there and into the forming machine.
This is where the gobs of glass are shaped into bottles. First, the neck is formed, and then it's flipped over so the body of the bottle is blown. It really is the most incredible thing to see. It's almost hypnotically beautiful.
So it then goes into an annealing layer, which is just like an oven, effectively, where it is reheated to a uniform temperature and then slowly cooled.
So that the whole vessel is cooling at the same time?
Exactly. And that makes it incredibly strong.
Then the bottles are coated and individually inspected to make sure that there are no flaws. And with millions of bottles to check, it's all automated and gorgeous. The bottles are palletised and shrouded in plastic to protect them for the final part of the journey. And that's to the breweries and wineries all around New Zealand. You know, out of all that whole process that we went through, that we walked through in the factory, what's your favourite part?
I always love the raw materials part of it because that's my job.
Okay.
My job is to work with councils, collectors, communities to make sure that they've got glass recycling available to them. I go into that yard and I see all that recycled glass and my heart skips a beat. It's fantastic.
So if you're head of sustainability, are you the one that set up all the recycling stations and things around the plant?
We actually worked as a team to do that.
Okay. Do you find yourself just sort of analysing, checking for imperfections?
Oh, it's worse than that.
You know, what do you do?
I checked the container to see that it was made in Penrose. Which...
Because I see so many different wines every week and every month and every year, you know, to assess. I'm going to look at those bottles now with this whole different level of awareness, and the fact that the glass that went into making that is generations old, possibly because of the recycling system that we have here in this country.
Exactly.
Coming up, what would your perfect beer bottle look like? And don't say full. I find the shape of wine bottles really interesting. Like, did you know that the dent in the bottom of a wine bottle is called a punt? And it's a very useful thing. In fact, there are two things that I particularly like about this. The first is that if you're a red wine, the punt is going to trap the sediment that naturally occurs as the wine ages. But in this case, for a white wine, this can actually make you look really good in front of your friends. It can help you pour like a pro. You just put your thumb in the punt, grip it with the rest of your fingers, take the cap off and pour. Stylish, eh? Right, cap on. Now the other really useful thing, the shape of the bottle means you can actually preserve your wine for a little bit longer. So if you don't want the oxygen to come in and spoil the gorgeous fruity floral characters, you can simply turn your wine on its side, pop it in the fridge, and the liquid is going to settle in the slimline neck of the bottle. It's going to delay any oxygen coming in and spoiling your wine, so it stays fresher for longer. No matter what your preferred drink, someone has to come up with a snazzy but practical bottle design for it. So last year, the Brewers Guild of New Zealand teamed up with brand agency Voice, OI New Zealand and the Product Design School at Unitec, and they produced a bottle for the craft beer export market into Asia. The bottle was quickly taken up by a brand new brewing company based in Auckland. So it must be really satisfying knowing that the craft brewing industry are just embracing these bottles and they're doing really well with them.
Absolutely. It's been really good to see the uptake from some of the brewers within New Zealand.
The 3 students that were responsible for designing this bottle, whereabouts are they now?
So they're all working in design, and 2 of them are locally, so in New Zealand, and 1 of them's in China.
Oh, that's kind of appropriate, isn't it, considering it was designed for the Asian market?
This was designed on an old kind of a clay, kind of pitcher bottle, and he had the idea right at the beginning. And to help guide him through that idea to make it real was quite unique and quite important, and that's why it won, because he had an idea and he stuck with it and he expressed it really, really well.
So what's the current project for the Unitec design students?
That's talking to one of the big things that is in OI's DNA, and that's sustainability and the recyclability of glass.
We represent over 95% of all beverage manufacturers and brand owners here in New Zealand. Innovation isn't just what's inside the bottle, it can be labelling, it can be packaging. For us, the design project here at Unitec, our ideal outcome is that the students here create a glass bottle that's functional for the industry, and our members who are making products that go into glass, this would be the first port of call that they would go to.
So she's a big job, but the industry experts are guiding the process every step of the way, just like they did last time.
How it's actually going to move through supply chain.
I'm rolling out to do it big, live a life. They wish they did, gotta go for yours, no hesitations, make the haters say.
It says reduce, reuse, recycle and repair, and that's kind of like the main design inspiration that's embedded in that look there.
So this could very much one day be an official glass bottle.
Yeah, hopefully.
What will you put inside it? What kind of beverages?
It's kind of designed towards the raw organic juice market.
I wanted to evoke the memory of water, or a memory of a time with water. I want it to be not so obvious, so really subtle, like how this one has the
dimples
inside.
Yep.
But you can only really see it when the water is gone, like when the tide goes out.
There's so many different shapes and things. There was one over here that I saw. Tell me about this bottle.
I wanted to bring it somewhere, maybe into a bar or something, so having a non-alcoholic option in a bar. So it should be a bit entertaining and a bit of an icebreaker as well.
So what's been the most difficult aspect of this challenge for you?
Design something that's going to tick all the boxes for everyone, It's going to be able to hold a good amount of fluid, but also feel comfy in the hand, and to convey this message of sustainability too.
The Unitec tutors have a great handle on where their student designs are going, but also just how hard that task is.
Designing a bottle is like haiku, like Zen poetry in form making. Because if you move the shoulder up just a tiny bit, it's a tomato sauce bottle. If you make it a little bit wider at the shoulder, it starts to look like a preserving jar. Even though this sounds like the simplest project, but it's so not that simple.
So exacting.
It really is like nailing jellyfish to a wall.
And it's extremely challenging because at the beginning of the project, essentially, we have carte blanche, great big white piece of paper. By designing some research and exacting that correctly, then they're able to sort of formulate a direction and we go from there.
I just think that's so exciting. I wish I'd been able to do something like that when I was a student. But,
yeah, it's a pretty neat discipline.
And every week the students stand up and present where they're up to. And they get lots of great feedback too.
I like the idea of the swing tag. I thought it was a really cool way to approach a bottle of this shape. When the bottle's running down a line, you're clearly going to have, a few bottles up against each other, and they will want to ride up into each other.
To kind of sum up the bottle, I've really just said it's tracing the infinite life of glass, because the whole bottle has this tactile kind of story to it.
Thanks so much for having me here today. I've really enjoyed looking at all these incredible ideas that you've got. Can't wait to see the exciting future in glass. Coming up, it's time for a tasting with a twist. To quote W.H. Auden, thousands can live without love, no one can live without water. And here in New Zealand, we have some of the purest water in the world. But what does it taste like? And how do we know that what we're buying is some of the purest water in the world? And how does the taste of the water affect how we taste our food and how we taste our wine? Well, here in the wilds of rural Whakatane, the answers are bubbling like a flowing brook. Simon Woolley was a restaurateur and bar owner for years before he started Antipodes Water Company in 2003. And he led the charge for the importance and supply of really good water in the wine and food industry. Hey, Simon. Good to be at Antipodes finally.
Yeah.
So what led you to this spot, this aquifer on this farm?
Because of the chemistry, and then we came and approached the guy, and then it became a taste profile thing. So the whole establishment of Antipodes, I suppose, was because there was no New Zealand water producer that was producing in glass. So no restaurateur wanted to put a plastic bottle of water on a restaurant table. Old friends of mine, Michael and Paul Brakovich, were fantastic in actually helping me identify the profile. And then it got right down to the sort of the fine edge of the two. There was one in Kaipoi and one here. And I was veering towards the Kaipoi water, but Michael felt that it was too pure, didn't have any flavour or anything to hold a wine or food. And because my whole philosophy was to get a water that needed no manipulation, so people could experience anywhere in the world as if they were drinking from the source.
And this is where it all comes from?
This is it. So the bore goes down, the aquifer goes down, it's 327 metres deep. So that's a metre short of the Sky Tower. So if you can visualise that in height, it's how far it goes down. It's a high pressure aquifer contained in Ingham-Bright rock, and it comes out at 32 bar pressure. So the pressure's the same pressure as a car tyre. It tends to be 32 bar pressure.
Oh, so that's why you don't have to pump the water. It just goes naturally under its own pressure.
Yeah, it is amazing. We don't sterilise the product water. It's as it is. So we're delivering a living water, something that has life, something that has importance, I think.
Right.
So we have to be really outstanding in our methods as far as the filter system in the bottling room is a HEPA filter system, the same they use in an operating theatre. It's a positive pressure room so that any air is coming out of the room, not coming in. There's ozone in the air, so it's sterile. So I think maybe, do you want to try something?
I was going to say, can I taste the water straight out of the ground?
Yeah, absolutely. This is it.
It's loud.
I think it's a bit tricky filling them up. You've sort of got to go.
It's a little bit like holding your mouth over the hose, the garden hose.
It's great in summer because it's 18 degrees all year round. Always 18 degrees. It doesn't vary in temperature. So on a hot day, it's beautiful to come down here and sort of, bathe in the Antipodes.
It's so easy to drink. It's like a silky kind of ribbon that just goes straight down your esophagus. And it feels like it's spreading into every part of your body. It's gorgeous. And it just comes straight out of the ground.
Yeah. I think it's because it's clean and clear. It's low in minerals. It's the silica that gives the softness to the mouthfeel.
Oh, I'm going to need to go and dry myself off now. This is great. Cheers.
Amazing, eh?
Yay.
Just remember, you're just getting started.
The old farmhouse is now the global headquarters for this very successful company, and Deb is their general manager. She's setting up a bit of a tasting for us with famous bottled waters from all around the world. But do they actually taste any different? I'm dying to find out.
We'll start with the Antipodes because it is the lowest in minerality of these waters. So the next one's Evian. So you get, it's almost like a chalkiness on the tongue. It's not as crisp as clear.
The Antipodes was like a samurai sword, really quick and crisp and sharp across your palate. Fantastic and cleansing. Tell me what we're going to do with the sparklings. What are we looking at?
So with Antipodes, we had a very, very fine bead. So we wanted the bead to be like a champagne bead rather than a big soda bead.
How do you do that?
Stephen.
Well, it's a really impressive piece of kit out of Italy. It's really cutting edge compared to the old paddle style. So we're really precise with an injection method. We know exactly how much is going in. It's well controlled compared to a bit of a hit and miss.
I think the next one's interesting because I think you'll probably find on the nose, Pellegrino.
It is quite intense when you put it next to the Antipodes. So delicate, more intense, particularly on the palate. I find it's quite a deep, almost chewy
and that
water.
soap, and that soapiness. So again, high in bicarbonate.
I quite like it, but it's just very, very different. Our fourth one.
You can imagine this with the sort of the wines of Spain and also the food, the tapas, the flavours, the strength.
It smells sort of slightly saline. Wow, this is totally a meal in the glass. It's a very pungent, potent water, isn't it?
It's certainly different. It's definitely got its place, but it's certainly not something I'd want on the table every day.
Harsh.
We're completely biased. You've got to
You know, we always use Antipodes water at our Dish magazine wine tasting panels. So I'm really keen, actually, to look at some of these other waters. Should we try a Chardonnay with some of these sparklings? What do you reckon? The water actually tastes a lot sweeter. After that Chardonnay, another sip of the wine. See if it changes the way the wine is on my palate. It just makes the wine kick
brighter
more on the palate.
Yeah.
Wow, that's really different.
It kind of brings out, that one sort of brings out the really smoky, savoury characters in the wine. It doesn't appear as fruity.
No.
As the Antipodes.
But it's incredible, you know, obviously people's tastes are different in terms of wine, but people don't realise how much the water's influencing what they're drinking.
Well, I think we should raise a glass to purity and respect and
cheers.
And the future. And Antipodes, hooray! Yeah, I would quite like some more of that water. In true Thirsty Work style, I decided we needed a bit of a get-together to celebrate not only the awesome liquid contents of our bottles, but the bottles themselves, and all the people who help get them onto our tables. So Penny and Simon, I've got something, an exercise for you to do. I want you to both take a sip of the Antipodes water and then have a spoonful of that fantastic roast vegetable salad and tell me your first impressions. Everyone's waiting with bated breath.
I haven't gone to heaven.
But you would say that, wouldn't you? But I just had it before, and it's amazing how the water just makes the roast vegetables just go ping, ping, ping. All those flavours are really pure now.
Well, it's just the cleansing of the palate, isn't it, before anything? To open it up.
You know, here on Thirsty Work, we're all about, does it actually end up tasting good? And what's in these bottles, all on our table, I think it's tasting pretty fantastic. And that's because they come in a great container. So thank you all. Cheers to you guys being great thirsty workers.